Here at West's at Darra, we're about to nail drag the main field at Darra here. The main field hasn't been nail dragged for probably 12 months. Now the benefits for nail drag, as you'll see here, so we've got some crack plating where it's really solid, and when it does crack away it comes away in plates. So you've got really tough ground there, and then maybe a foot away we've got straight decomposed granite with no clay base mix in whatsoever. So you've got one really hard bounce and one really bounce that we can't control where it would go. So we don't want to be able to do that. We want to be able to have consistent bounce, so we're going to go ahead and nail drag. One of the big things is we need to make sure that before dragging, the infield needs to be moist. So we need moisture in there. So just hosing down prior to dragging the areas is essential before we do that. If you try to drag a dry field, you'll have no chance of getting the clay content up. So we need the moisture in there to grab that clay, be able to bring it up. You can still see we have a pretty good moisture content within the surface of the infield skin. Once again, it's essential that we keep a moisture content in here. As soon as you let the moisture content comes out, basically you're going to lose a lot of clay substance just through drying off and breaking off and everything else. So once this is dragged, you'll start to see a pretty marked difference. One of the big keys we need to make sure we do is when we nail drag the base paths by hand. You don't want to have a nail drag on a machine that's too close to your edges through here. Once that's done, then basically what you need to be able to do is allow it a little time to dry. So you should see a little white crust forming. Once that happens, then you can start to drag it. You're going to need a few drags over everything. So basically the whole idea of this will be that you will get up a whole bunch of clay and everything else, and this is a good time through your dragging techniques to get everything back to level. So start working out where you're low in spots, where you're high in spots, and go through that. So when we go through, so it'll take a few times. This is after 2 passes with a mesh drag. We haven't gone with a plastic drag yet, but you can start to see that it's starting to look even better straight away. But we'll get down to first base here, and we know we've got a huge big dip in first base area. So what we've done is managed to drag a lot of the top layer off the metal drag over here down to this area. So when we start to drag through the main area, we'll be able to level this through. Okay, this is after 2 passes. We've had 2 drags through this section now. We're starting to get a really good little consistency through. As you'll see, you've got a top coat which will move around, but a solid undercoat through. So what you're looking for, if you can find these types of footmarks, so you'll see here it's a little soft on that heel there. But what we want to do is once we get another load of water into this, a bit more moisture, we'll find is that'll start to come down a little bit. We'll do another pass as well. But ultimately, we're starting to get some good success through here. Obviously, you can see just in the look of the infield mix It looks a lot better, it looks a lot neater, it looks a lot more uniform throughout, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide a uniform, consistent bounce over the entire infield playing surface. So making sure we go through using good drag techniques, not the same drag technique all the time. Yeah, it's starting to come up well. We'll see how we go. The type of drag we use here at West is a simple piece of corrugated concrete mesh. Works surprisingly well. The only thing with this is that you do need to have some speed with this. What we find is it's heavy enough that it'll break the lumps up, anything like that, or any rocks or anything else will sift through it. But we do find that we do tend to go too slow. We leave some little corrugated marks as we go through, but at this speed here, it leaves a really, really nice, even finish all throughout. Obviously, we are staying well away from edges while we do that. Try and make sure we don't wash any soil up over our grassed edges. So finished product on Sunday morning. We've had 2 more lots of water through and 2 more drags, and we've got a pretty good final consistency. Once again, you'll see the slight shadows of footmarks, which is a good little sign. But, everything looking well for a day level. Good base in there, so you'll be able to keep that up throughout the day by just adding more water as we go.